It hits again. Kevy, he's done it one more time.
The Chaos Storm! Claire jumps in with the Grand Slam! But in a three-man Moonfall, and it's just lights out for Direwolves, just like that.
The showstopper. Look at the backline. It's getting melted.
Something right now, Sonic Wave is there, it's getting low and low. Oh! They've stolen it! Mammoth have got the Baron! It's gonna fall on down, it's just too much damage! Rest in peace!
It's a great day to be an LCO enjoyer. That's it, week 3, day 2, about to get underway here on the LCO. We have a whole bunch of huge games coming up today. After yesterday, I don't know how it's going to be able to back it up, but I know that the players have it in them to keep it entertaining, to keep it close. We've got some big, tight ones that are going to change the position on the leaderboard as well, so make sure you're watching, make sure you're having some fun, and make sure you watch this replay package before we jump on into today.
Here we go. They turn the on switch, only thinks he's the one jumping forward, but actually, they're going to get collapsed upon. It's a trap! Chongi not going to get hit by the own charge, but it does not matter. As in top lane, Gravitas, meanwhile, he wants to pick up a blue buff. Forget the team fight, I'm playing a completely different game. It's solo player, and Balkan is still saying, where is my team? He's got the gold trigger, he's now got the backup, the reinforcements are here. He steals the Baron, you're kidding me! You are absolutely kidding me! How on earth have Peace done this? They are going to kill everybody. They are screaming in their player cams. And it's a quadra kill for Cheon. Put some respect on this man's
Does the
name.
Elder get him? It's a penta.
It's a penta. It's the first of the year.
Kyosei sees Reefy relieved.
He wants a one-shot. He really wants to try and take them out underneath this turret. The aggro device is gone.
He got both.
No. Double stasis. You're kidding me. Line it up. Everyone and another clip and chip it. Kyosei. The absolute Giga Chad.
Look, day number 1 of this week is definitely going to be a tough act to follow. So tough, in fact, that Rusty decided to call a sickie because yesterday's games completely cooked his throat. So we've got a replacement here, a fresh face on the desk, at least in terms of casting. We got Skimmy, but we also have Kitty here for her debut performance as the color caster. Kitty, how you feeling?
I'm feeling excited, but hopefully Rusty gets well very soon. But for today, I will be your Rusty, and I'll be the color caster.
Well, I hope you do a great job. I'm excited to see how you go. Skimmy, how excited are you?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, absolutely shagged after last night, though. Usually I'm up playing a few games, and then I just said, you know what? I went a little bit hard on the paint on a few of those games, a few voice breaks, a few clips that I've looked at on the Twitter page and said, I never want to see that again. Not too pretty, but hey, look, I'm re-energized. I'm quick. I'm entertained. I'm ready to jump into today, Mac.
Look, you sound energized. You sound keen for it, and you sound keen to have a look at the leaderboard. So let's bring the standings up and see where all the teams are currently sitting after yesterday's games. They were pretty good. They were pretty nuts, and we only have one team remaining that is undefeated. That team, of course, is Peace. Right up the top there. Chiefs have copped 1L, so 4-1 now for Split 1, still sitting in second. Pensing it up there in third with a clear 3-2 scoreline. And then we got the three-way tie at fourth, Kitty. So tell me, what's going on here?
Obviously, we've seen quite rough games from all three Dials, Mammoth and Order. They had not consistent performance in the past few weeks. But with that being said, King is last.
Yes,
tied with
Kanga is
Gravitas.
right at the bottom at the moment, and that's a rough place to be because a lot of people put them way higher in their power rankings. But I feel like Kanga, if anyone, is the team to bounce back, Skinny.
I think so. Yeah, as you say, we definitely thought like this would be the week for it. Taking on Gravitas, now taking on Mammoth today. This is a week that they should really be looking to prove themselves as a team that's fighting for that 5th and final spot in playoffs. I feel like from what we've seen so far, it's going to be very hard for them to eclipse any further up the rankings, but certainly looking for them to turn a new leaf in that chapter today, Mac.
Now let's have a look at what's going on today in day 2 of week 3 here on the LCO. Kicking things off, 6 PM, we got Peace and Gravitas going head to head. So This is going to be a tough one for Gravitas. Peace, I feel like they're going to go into this confident, but, overconfident. Maybe that's something to talk about a little later on. 7 p.m, Mammoth and Kanga going head-to-head. This is where Kanga can definitely start to find a bit of momentum, but Mammoth, you cannot fault them at the moment. They've been playing pretty damn good. They're learning, they're improving at a rapid rate. They had that little win streak, which finished yesterday, and they could definitely take the dub today. Now, 8 p.m, we got Chiefs and Pentanet. I'm looking at that. I know everyone is excited as me to see how this one goes. It's going to be able to, you look at Pentanet, you think, can they do it up against the Chiefs? The Chiefs are strong, but how strong are they? And how long can they keep this pressure going? I feel like all split. Order and Direwolves at 9 p.m. as well to end of the night. And look, they're both 2 and 3, which is a bit of a misleading scoreline. Direwolves finally getting that second W yesterday. And Order just looking to find that stability. Kitty, tell me which one of these is going to be your game for today?
I'm definitely going to look out for PG vs Chiefs. I think that will be the match of the day. But following with that, I think Dials and Order will be a watch as well, because we've seen how the teams have performed, the potential of both teams, but we've also seen their weaknesses. So I'm excited to see what they have in store for us today.
Yeah, Skimmy, anything you want to point out before we jump on in to the rest of the pre-match?
Yeah, 3 and 4, obviously. Those are going to be the ones that are going to get everybody excited, right? They're going to be the most high execution, high gameplay that we're going to see today. But yeah, once again, I'm just really excited for that second game today, right? Kanga up against Mammoth. Both these teams really fighting tooth and nail to, escape the bottom of this ladder. Right now, Mammoth doing a fantastic job. And, they're trying to do a bit of a roll swap here with Kanga, saying, you take where a lot of us predicted them should be.
I feel it's going to get a little bit hectic. I feel like there's at least 3 games that should be very close. The first one, look, I'm excited to be surprised because Gravitas, they got a lot of globals on the board in their champ select yesterday, and it got them the W. So maybe there's a chance for an upset today. But Peace have not put too many feet in the wrong position so far. Now, let's start talking about Zumi, Zeri, and Yumi. Together, they are a couple of champs that make this game look pretty damn easy. And Kitty, I know that you've played a little bit of Yumi. You said it's banned a lot in solo queue, but this combination, please tell me about it.
So in my opinion, I think Zeri and Yumi is probably the best in slot for each other. Obviously, Yumi, you attach onto the Zeri, you give a heal, a shield from the passive and Airy. And you just never die because Zeri is just zooming all over the map, kiting people, dealing out damage. You can always, when people do approach Zeri, you toss out the ulti, they get CC'd. It's just unbeatable, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's very strong indeed. Skimmy, have your say.
Yeah, I mean, and China's obviously going to be the go-to based on how Zeri's passive works. You want that mobility, you want those buffs, you want to make sure that you have the tools required to try and 1v9. But it's not to say that these engaged supports like the Leona, like the Nautilus as well, even the Rakan, like we saw from Corporal last night, can't be considered. So certainly a lot of flexibility, but it's good to see that Yumi's actually found a way back into the meta based on a new champion.
It's crazy that it's been banned 66 times, but with such a high win rate, it makes sense, right? Now, look, I'm expecting to see this today at least once. I reckon it's going to slide through the cracks in Champ Select, but we also need to talk about meta. Not the actual meta, but a bit of an off meta. Something that Skimmy wants to see here in OS.
Yes. So I'm getting a little bit bored, Mac, is basically what I'm saying. We've had Rusty's speech from champions that we should be seeing more of. Like, where's the Victor? Where's the Twist of Fate? And, we get a little bit of handful here and there. I think Chiefs basically said, here's your Victor, I'm Tally. Tapoon said, here's your Gwen, I'm the king, right? So they've shown us the meta as such, but these are some unique champions that I would love to see show up in OS at some stage. Akshan released such a long time ago. We've never seen him. I would love to see it primarily in the top lane. Probably the top lane is the best place for his swing shot really to work, all that terrain to be found.
Yeah.
But he's very oppressive, very annoying, can utilize his range. He's got a stealth, obviously a gap closer, and who can get the revive. So some good matchups for him to try and take on, right? To try and be a bit of a bully. I guess the best way to try and shut him down is going to be with those bruisers like Aurelia, Jax, perhaps even Akali, but we don't really see those like carry-orientated style bruisers up the top side right now. So definitely a consideration.
Yeah.
Soraka, yeah, maybe a little bit of recency bias, seen Cloud9 play in the LCS, but I feel like this has been a week that we've been hyping up in China's. So I would like to see it. It feels the best, I would say, into a scaling mid-mage, but best paired when you've got a very aggressive jungler. So Things that come to mind, Olaf, Jarvan, Hecarim, even the Kindred, because you just get them to sustain, and then also you got the silence that guarantees the DPS uptime for these carry junglers to do the damage, right? If you position it well, there's a silence, and then there's a root, so they can't flash away. They're locked in place for 20 years, and they just die. And then who can forget the fact that you've got a global heal, which cleanses grievous wounds, so basically can save a life, but also can be, teched into to apply buffs. So you could go for like the Ardent Sensor, you could go for the Chemtech, and just apply buffs all across the map at once. Shen's another one in the top side. I feel like he fares really well into a lot of these top lane matchups, like the Ornn, like the Gragas that we're seeing picked blind. You could even make a case of champions like the Trindamere, for instance. His W just nullifies so much of that trading damage. Obviously, his passive comes into effect well from some good laning phase trading patterns, but I love the ultimate to stand united. Given that we're seeing so many of these enchanters and supports in general play around your bot lane and making these AD carries absolutely love their life, have another one. Why not? Absolutely, go for it. And then finally, Nami, last champion on the list, probably the most niche of them all because this has to exclusively be paired with Illusion in the bot lane. If you watched Worlds in 2021, you would have seen this absolutely dominate things. The Nami will lock in Electrocute as the runes, go for the Imperial Mandate. They're going to be pushing that wave hard, hit level 2, and basically look to try and all-in from the very get-go. I'd like to see this played a little bit more to try and punish the fact that we have a lot of lethal tempo AD carries right now. The supports are roaming. The AD carries are actually acting as solo laners. They're getting free XP. Lucian loves the 1v1s. He loves the 2v2s. Why not? So a few ideas that could perhaps be abused here in OS, and we'll get to see.
Yeah, cheeky couple of ideas. Kitty, do you have anything to add? Any extra champs that aren't selected there that you'd like to see in OS?
I've got listed down C9's pick up for the Soraka Ivern mid given to Fudge. So we believe in the Church of LS. You know, I've been a big fan of watching the LCS. It was also paired with an Olaf jungle, the Soraka mid, and the Ivern mid was actually paired with a Gwen jungle, which makes me bring up the thought that why isn't Gwen being picked in LCO? We've seen a one game picked by Tapoon, and speaking of champions that aren't picked, Victor isn't picked as well, and the only person we've seen Victor being picked by is also from the Chiefs, Tally.
Okay, so maybe Chiefs are the ones that are really bringing the goods in terms of diversity, in terms of picking the champs that we want to see, that we think would succeed and that apparently are OP. But of course, we got to talk about you guys at home, your opinions and stuff. It's pretty important most of the time, and again, it's important today because you're going to be right, you're going to be wrong, you're going to be hot, you're going to be cold, but you're going to be taking something away, and it's the takes. Hot takes. We love them, and we're going to judge them. Send them in. I believe there is a post up over on the LCO Twitter. Jump on over there. Please comment your hot take. I know there's already a few that we have ready. And also, if you just want to do it as a tweet, hashtag LCO, and we'll see it. We'll put it up on the show. You can be up here with your hot takes, and we can, I guess, share them with the world. Now, we have a couple to share already, so let's see what it is, who it is, what we got for the kickoff. Now, prove it. Normals are harder than ranked. I would agree because I play with people that are higher ranked than me, so when I play norms, generally I'm playing against people that are better than me. So nothing really too much to dwell on there. What about you, Kitty? You think that's true?
I was playing some Earth games yesterday and people kept FFing because they're like, oh my god, why am I paired against 3 challenges when I'm silver? So that might happen in normal games, so I'd say that's true.
Yeah.
So true for your opponents, right? But not true for you. You just got the FF win. Beautiful. Skimmy, thoughts?
Yeah, I find it funny because, like, you know, when people talk about ranked anxiety, they don't actually want to play a rank because they're concerned about each game having a significant importance put towards it. So they play a normal, and then sometimes they, in fact, pretty much like what Kitty just mentioned, right, actually verse way harder people. So then you play enough of those, and then you're looking to try and say to yourself, well, why don't I just play ranked? So, yeah, definitely can be the case.
I just think it's more fun in normals too, because you can play as a full 5-stack. You don't have to play flex. Now, let's jump on to hot take number 2. I don't think that one was that hot. I think that could be pretty true. We got Chimchar28. Zoe is the most fun and skill-expressive champion in League. Even I know that's a hot take, right?
Where's the copy pasta? I love Zoe. He XD. Yeah, no. Look, one of those champions, right, that you either love or you hate. No, I don't think this is it, Chief.
Well, Kitty, you're mechanically gifted. Tell me, is this true or false?
Zoe is fun, but it is not fun to verse because of that W. And in terms of skill expression, I'd say it's just similar to a normal mage. It's not that hard.
Okay. Well, Chimchar, look, hot take, unfortunately, mate. So keep that one in your head. Don't express those opinions any longer. Jumping on to tweet number 3. Let's see what we got here. It is Pre-picks, TC, Gianna Smite top and Soraka solo lane is just a way of showing the creativity and thinking of the community. It is just genius. Stop hating it. Well, it's crept into competitive play, so maybe this is not that hot, Skimmy.
Yeah, this is pretty much like a discussion we mentioned, but really alluded to full on breaking down, right? I suppose it's all based on, like, you know, what do Riot view as the way to play the game, I say in, you know, bracket commas. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like definitely as patches go by, obviously these players will play a whole bunch, you know, 12, 16-hour grinds each day. So they're going to, by chance, discover things. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, who says which way is the right way to play League?
Exactly. No one can tell you how to play how you want. Kitty, if you could play League exactly how you wanted all the time, what would you do?
You know, I would play Smite Janna top 2, but I'm just thinking, who decided to lock in Janna? And it's like, I'm going to go Smite, I'm not going to play lane, I'm just going to roam around and be a second jungler. Who thought of that?
Meta creators, the real experimenters, the real limit testers of the community doing God's work. Now, we've got to start talking shop. We've got to start talking game number 1. It's Peace and Gravitas up first, but we're going to start to talk Peace. Now, tell me, Kitty, you know them, you love them, and you know an extra thing or two about this team. So tell me, what is going to be their win conditions today?
We've seen an amazing performance from Cheon, RP, Lisa, and Tien. Beast had a rough one last night, but I think he can step up to follow up with the rest of the team. Obviously, Cheon got the first pentakill from that Caitlyn game, and from these team fights around the Dragon, we see that both Chiefs and Peace have potential to become first in the split 1.
Yeah.
But obviously, Peace knew how to play the team fights better. They played around that Jace, Caitlyn poke with Raze jumping back in. And I just want to note to the audience that Tapoon actually ulted in the Poppy closer to the Baron, where Poppy actually stole Baron. So that's quite a tilter. But yeah, this is the cleanest game. Sorry, not cleanest, but this is probably the most exciting game we've seen so far. And that's the Penta.
This split has been insane. Pentas, everything, top teams action. I feel like if you have the two top teams going head to head, there's less likely of a chance that you are actually going to see that Penta. So that makes it that much more insane.
Sure.
Now we're going to talk about team number 2 here. That of course is going to be Gravitas, who got a big dub on the board yesterday, Skimmy.
Yeah.
Now tell me how they did it and how they're going to do it again today.
They look absolutely revitalized, didn't they? They brought in Nobody, they brought in a Zeus as well as their jungler, 2 players that have been on the roster for last year, and it just seemed to give them a new lease on life, right? They've retained the mid to bot side of this this roster and said that, look, the gameplay style that we're going to go for is globals, it's pressure, it's a Zerayumi. So we saw infinite value really found from the Nocturne. He would ult down bot, they'd find a kill there, you'd find them make a play topside as well. They're winning on 2 sides of the map. Now, one of the first things I learned about League is that's illegal. You shouldn't be making 2 plays at once, but it worked. And it looked ever so clean. They finished the game with insane KDAs, insane stats, and, you know, I feel like this is always the basic talking point we mentioned for new teams that are coming on in, or squads that are looking to try and make an impact in their first rookie split.
Yeah. Don't
have to try and overcomplicate it. You know, don't need to play these convoluted, you know, 1-3-1s or split push or win con via, you know, a free item bruiser. They just said, no, we're going to play for globals. We're going to buff each other up, strength in numbers, and it really shut down all the options that Kanga had, and made for a very entertaining game.
Yeah, I feel like this game yesterday as well, it just reminded me so much of last year. Every time Gravitas was allowed to play that Nocturne, they just had so much going for them. They were that scary. And I don't know if that's going to be able to slide through again, although that being said, Zeus is out of the lineup again today. We got Foreigner back in action. Kitty, tell me, what do you think Gravitas can do to win this game? Which lane's it going to come through?
In my opinion, I think Dajun and Piglet have the most potential to carry the team to a victory, because we've seen Piglet on the Jinx, he was really comfortable on that hyper carry, and Dajun going for those 1v1s in mid lane, sometimes even solo killing those pros with years of experience, just surprises everyone. And I'm not going to be surprised if Gravitas does pull something out of their sleeves.
Well, I'll tell you what could surprise you. We got sick content here, Gravitas. Do you want to meet him? Well, here you go.
Looking bottom real quick, Foreigner is here and Lantern was used. They're in trouble.
Oh, fantastic. Look at the positioning. Bulldog caught between the wave. There's the Graviton, locks them in place. Actually, no Graviton, not even required. Doesn't even matter. They're going to find that easy kill. Looking for a potential dive. Foreigner tanks 3 turret shot. The flash forward with the passive and the hook. And Gravitas say, what's up? There's a double kill.
Oh, good.
Most interesting thing about our team is how obviously we have a lot of players. We literally hold our own in-houses with a full first Grav roster, which I think is pretty useful for practice.
Those games, I tell you, they are the most fun I've had during my time in the LCO. 10 people just going crazy in customs. We played ARAMs together, and from that alone, it's been a really pleasant time being in Gravitas and in the LCO.
Most of us are rookies, so obviously has the highest chance of improvement as a team and or as individual players. And I think we're definitely showing signs of improvement. We're having the right ideas and making the right calls here and there. It's just the execution sometimes off, which I think is very good signs for the future for the teammates. If I had to choose, I'd probably choose myself for shot calling. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that great at it yet, but I think because we're all rookies, we're both kind of just trying to understand the game better.
We like to have fun, just friendly banter, joking around. We have that spirit, and yeah, we can give it our all. And I think in the coming weeks we'll try to prove ourselves as a fighting team.
Our goal of the team is to make the playoffs, especially for a first split. Very successful season if we ended up as a 5th seed.
Jokes aside, we just want to try and improve and play our best and really make LCO as competitive as it can be. Just get to a point where we can compete on an equal level and make the LCO fun to watch and maybe get OCE to Worlds.
It was great to see them get that W on the board yesterday, and great to hear that, I guess just get to know the players as well. De Jong calling from mid lane in his rookie split, that's got to be difficult, right? That has to put so much pressure on his shoulders, not only to play well, which he has been doing in mid, but also try to guide the rest of the team.
Yeah, he just sounds, so well spoken, so down to earth. Somebody you just, want to grab a beer with after the game and say, "Well done, mate." And look, he's playing aggressively. He's making a shot calls. You can see it from his gameplay. So absolutely. And then what also Tyron mentioned, right, about you want to make the region competitive. At the end of the day, that's all you can really ask for. You don't want to watch a stomp. You don't want to be a player in a stomp. So we want all these games to be as close as possible. So even ourselves, when we're watching these games, we have no idea what the bracket, what the ladder is all going to look like.
Exactly. Now, something that we have an idea of what's going to look like is that bot lane head-to-head. Now, it's going to be difficult for Piglet. We know that he's one of the stronger points here of Gravitas, but he's up against Cheon, who had the best performance I've seen from him yesterday, Kitty. Now, a lot of numbers here. Tell me how this one's going to go down and who's probably going to win this matchup.
Cheon's KDA got severely bumped up from that 16-1 Caitlyn game last night, but we see a similar KP from both ADCs. They do also share similar champions such as the Jinx and Aphelios, which is also shared with a lot of other ADCs in the LCO. We see that they have this similar damage share, but Cheon picking Caitlyn twice means that he has a higher average damage to objectives. He ate all the plates. And similar gold share, but mainly it's about Cheon being given the resources from those early plates.
Yeah, they actually melted that bot tower yesterday, right? Now, we know that Piglet, they did get the Zoomy yesterday, and it definitely worked out for them. So I don't know if that's going to be let through, but of course, Zoomy up against the range of a Kate Lux, I don't think that's going to slip through either. There's only so many bans that can come through in Champ Select, and I don't know which way this one's going to go, Skip.
Yeah, as you say. Well, when Peace played on that brand new patch, right, they said we don't care about the Zeri go player, and they basically just ran it back again with this Caitlyn Lux. They're the only team that have done it so far, so I'd imagine if Peace aren't concerned about it again, if they even want to try and run the risk and say, give us a bit of stage practice, scrims aren't enough for us to really get a gauge of how strong it is, then they'll say, yeah, go for it, give it another try. But I'd imagine that Gravitas have to remove this Caitlyn, otherwise they're asking for trouble for sure.
Now, Kitty, any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on the champs that we're going to see down in the bot lane?
I'm pretty sure Caitlyn's going to be banned, Zeri or Yuumi is going to be banned. They're not going to let each other have those champions. They had really good performances yesterday.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see Cheon and Piglet on a more traditional hyper carry like the Jinx Aphelios today.
Well, look, Kitty, I know you've got to get ready for the game, so I'll jump in and do the interview while you keep doing your prep.
Thanks,
and we do have Piglet and Lisa, two of my favorite players, here to have a quick chat to. Boys, how we feeling? Piglet, I'm going to have a chat with you first, all right? Now, have you ever given a motivational speech to the team, and can we have an example?
I have not, to be honest. We've just started small encouragements before the game starts with our comp, talking about comp and direction or focus for early game to just help us get through it. But not like a big motivational speech, just because it's hard to do that, especially if you're like, if it's uncomfortable matchups and just like stuff like that that's going on.
Okay, well, I think you're lying, only because I was watching that player cam yesterday and your mouth was moving the whole time throughout the end of the game. Now, second question, bot lane's going to be a hard matchup today. What's the pass score you're looking for? Because, of course, Cheon is going to be a machine.
Pass score, I mean, basically just like, again, just like getting a decent matchup that actually lets us be able to play the lane well, and then actually get out of lane and survive, and basically push leads if you can get some from bot lane as well.
Okay, well, we'll see if that one works out. Now, Lisa, got a couple of questions prepped for you as well. So, first off, you're insane. Love your work. What's the secret to being so good in the jungle?
What's the secret of being so good in jungle?
Yeah.
I think I'm just built different compared to the other junglers.
Of course. Beautiful. Well, hopefully I can be built like you one day. Now, I know you're a fan of food, so what's the go-to order after a win and a loss?
Good question. Just before the game, I'm having my dinner, and I haven't finished yet, so I want to get a quick game and finish my food.
All right, beautiful. So we'll see if that one plays out. Now, look, I'm looking for advice. Valentine's Day is coming up next week. And to, you know, warm up, I want you both to give each other a compliment. Lisa, you go first.
I hope you have some fun on that day.
Oh, beautiful. Piglet, your turn.
I like the versatility in your jungling in solo queue, so just keep that up. It's good.
Beautiful. Well, I think you both have beautiful smiles, and I hope you keep smiling through the matchup. Good luck. Have fun in the Rift, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Good to chat with them, and good to, you know, shake off the rust and do a bit of interviewing.
Hey,
Talk to someone different.
He's like, that's a really good question. I'm not going to tell you what the dish is, but look, I'm excited. Like, I'm so keen for my food. Can we just wrap this up already?
Yeah, he's like, look, I'm pausing it. It's going to get cold, so we'll see how cold it gets, how long the game goes on. Now, take it away from that. I was actually expecting more like physical compliments on
Me
like,
too.
oh, I love your hair
Me
right now.
too.
And they were just all league, so you can see that they are ready for this game, Kitty.
You know, Mac, what would your Valentine's compliment be? Give one for us, come on.
To both of you, look, you've put me on the spot. Skimmy, I love that jumper. It really compliments your eyes. Kitty, those glasses, it really brings out that smile. There you go. Is this what we're looking for?
Thank you.
Fishing for compliments? Huh?
Thank you, Mac. That was really nice.
Beautiful. Okay, beautiful. Now, let's jump on into the predictions. Let's see where we think this game's going to be heading on the desk. And I've gone for the underdogs. I'm a believer, as the late and great Shrek said at some point. Now,
Yes.
we got Skimmy, Rusty, and Kitty all on the peace train. Kitty, tell me why you've gone with peace.
Who wouldn't go with Peace after Cheon's performance yesterday? And obviously you chose Gravitas, the underdogs, but even though Tien got weak-sided and he got ganked by that Leona, he still ended up standing up with that Jace.
Yep.
So yeah, Peace is looking like a solid team so far.
Okay, anything else to add there, Skimmy?
Yeah, just built different, really, aren't they? That's pretty much what he said. He said, look, I'm not going to give away the secret sauce. Figure it out yourself there, Mac. We're just kings. They're built different in multiple places, right? Same with the AD carries. So I just think across the board, you're going to be feeling pretty happy. You're undefeated. You've just taken down your biggest rival, you'd have to say, at this point. So Gravitas might just be quaking in their boots.
Yeah, I was really happy with Nobody's performance yesterday. He had a whole lot of impact and pretty much knew what was going on like the whole time. A couple of nice TPs as well to help out the team. Now, he's up against Tien, and Tien is absolutely cracked. So tell me how this top lane matchup is going to go, Skimmy.
I think some solo kills are very, very possible. I do feel like Nobody is an upgrade over Tyron, has a lot more experience, but they fulfill a very similar role. They're both looking to try and play those tanks that want to try and absorb as much pressure as possible. Definitely he felt like a bit of a punching bag yesterday against Kanga, beating him up a few too many times, but ultimately he knew how to hold the lane and find windows of opportunity to punish. I would not be surprised to see Tien say, draft me something so I can look to try and outplay a 1v1, but he doesn't necessarily need to be the star of the show, but very, very different play styles up there.
Yeah, it's like what we saw yesterday, right? Tien was happy just to play weak side, just try to not die as much as possible, and then when he got bullied, there was just action happening all across the map, all across the Rift. It was insane. Now, I feel like this jungle matchup is going to be interesting because Lisa has been so strong in the jungle, whereas I feel like Foreigner, he's like left something to be desired. So what are we going to see from the early game jungling, Kitty?
So obviously Lisa has been drafting utility slash carry, you know, carry Lee Sin, Nidalee, but from Foreigner we've been seeing some Xin Zhao, Diana and Viego. It seems that those are his comforts, which also suit very well into the current jungle meta. So I'm just gonna see probably two carry junglers fighting it out in the jungle.
Okay, well let's see if that is the case. I feel like, look, mid lane as well, it's going to be a little bit action-packed. We've seen DeJong get very active rather early on, goes for those, gets those solo kills, and you got to remember that that's a stat as well, which changes the kill participation of the rest of his team. Because if he keeps on just popping these solo kills nice and early, not even in need of his support, not even in need of his jungler, just doing it all himself, it brings the stats back. But in his favor, like his kill participation has been relatively high throughout. But going up against Appy, I feel like he's got a couple of things to learn.
Yeah, I mean, both mid laners have played a unique champion out of the 5 games played so far, right? So they're definitely showcasing that their champion pool is quite large.
Yeah.
You could argue that Appy would have the slight advantage, right? Because he's role swapped multiple times, so he pretty much could play anything if he wanted to. Bring out a Soraka, mate. Why not? Surely. But hey, look, I feel like you would be in favor of DeJong, looking to try and play something that way he can win the 1v1. I don't feel like he's the kind of guy that's going to shy away, especially when you're locking in things like you know, Vex, Akali, Kiana. You want to punch on. You're not going to want to sit back and just farm at 10 CS per minute and be like, hey, I'm a victor. So, yeah.
That's it. Well, let's see who's punching who's punching on. And on the way into Champ Select, please, I want you both to compliment one another. Let's keep it happy.
Well, I'm very excited to be in this game, Mac. I'm going to compliment you. Thank you for leaving our screen. But also, Kitty, you're looking fantastic. I'm really excited for you to be joining us here on the show in a casting position. I know it's going to be a world of change, but it's going to be exciting. And you're already spot on with the money here because the Zeri and the Yuumi are gone.
Well, I was correct in that department, and the Kaelin's been banned. Corki, best in slot mid laner, has been banned as well, with the Jinx being picked away. Oh no, not Jinx, Aphelios. We're not sure yet.
Yeah, they're considering it, aren't they? I would love this though for Cheon, right? The fact that I wanted to see the Caitlyn ban, which is good. So it's just going to default back to another one of those really hyper carry, high impact, lethal tempo carries. Guaranteed that Cheon can play whatever he wants. And now it's game on to Piglet. What do you want? I'm giving you all the options, all the solutions. You've got the pick of the litter to try and beat me in this lane.
So it looks like that Gravitas is hovering the Lulu. They are going to take that away from the Aphelios. That means Thresh is still up, left for the bot lane. Thresh actually does well into Lulu in the lane matchup, but Lulu does end up outscaling if she is paired with a Jinx.
That's what he does. Also worth noting there as well, Kitty, that Beats has only played Lulu and the Lux, right? So unless we're going to see a Lux Aphelios matchup, which would seem a little bit crazy, Beats might have to just play something different.
You've seen Beats play Thresh before, but Foreigner locking in his comfort, Xin Zhao, and Xin is very strong in the meta right now, so I'm not surprised by that. Lisa locking in the Trundle, playing some frontline for Cheon, and the Nautilus. I did not expect a Nautilus.
Very aggressive, isn't it? Basically want to try and punish whoever you pair that Lulu with. We're going to take them down nice and early. Suggests a lot of aggression. I like the fact that you've got the hook, you've got the dredge line, you've got the depth charge afterwards, the ultimate there from Nautilus, but then the pillar, just giving all these tools very early on in the draft to say, Cheon, once again, a target gets locked in place for half a second. We want you to kill them in one shot.
Yeah, locking in the Nautilus means they might play towards a bot side carry because Aphelios Nautilus actually do well in the early game. So I'm gonna expect the Trundle pathing mostly bot this game.
Get to see where it does go in the end as the Ornn gets locked in again. So another game here played by Nobody. We're going to try and run it back with the success he found and no doubt needs that level of success going into TN on your screen right now, which has, if I remember correctly, is it named Inky? The little squid on top of his head?
Yes, it is Inky.
Ah, Inky, the absolute patriot. Maybe the team's mascot, would you say, for Peace?
It is indeed Peace's team mascot, little Inky, sitting on Tien's head. But we do have the Jace banned out. We've seen Tien pop off on the Jace. Even though he was weak side, he had a very strong impact in the late game. Jinx being banned out means the two most popular hyper carries are put away from Piglet.
Now he's going to have to start to consider, what do I play instead? I know he has a pocket Sivir tucked away if ever needed. The ever feared 500 CS full item build, whether it's going to be the on-hit or if it's going to be the Dark Harvest and the old Boomerang Australian build.
It's most likely not going to be a Sivir because they have the Lulu and Ornn locked in. They're most likely looking at another hyper carry.
See what they decide to go for as pressure goes elsewhere for more of those carries there. Camille removed, so Tien can't have his fun to try and be as much of a nuisance into this Ornn. That was obviously a big discussion yesterday for nobody in the 1v1, as well as the Akali removed too, so definitely targeting Daejong.
Abi also had, oh wait, sorry, that's a ban from Peace, but Kog'Maw, a hyper carry that I was talking about, it's never been picked, never been banned. First time we're gonna see it.
Yeah, how nice is this though? I think like the only people that really ring to mind that I remember in recent times would probably be Frost that had played the Kog'Maw, but it's been a long time since we saw a carry of this stature. I mean, what do we make of the Kog'Maw here?
We've actually seen Praedyth pick Kog'Maw at Worlds with a Lulu, and they did okay. You know, it wasn't as good as a Jinx or Aphelios, but it definitely gets the job done.
Any concerns though with the amount of mobility cancellation onto this Kog'Maw? Is his life going to be a living hell seeing what Peace have drafted?
We're seeing the Gwen picked out of Peace. Gwen currently has an 80% pick ban rate globally, so Gwen is very strong in the current meta. Also, Gwen has an immune ability where Ornn and Xinjiao can't actually CC her. So with the Trundle and obviously Orianna locked in, they will put the ball on the Trundle. Once they get onto this Kog'Maw, he's donezo. Yeah,
it's like the delivery system of the Shockwave to give them a partying gift. As you said, maybe they've listened to our rehearsal here, Kitty. You wanted the Gwen, so they'll give you the Gwen. So that's going to be an exciting one in its own right. But the final pick here from the side of Gravitas, Daejong is going to run it back with that Zoe once again. So a hot take. The hottest take of them all is it's going to get drafted.
Well, we will see from this game if Zoe is a skillful champion and if she's one of the most fun champions in League of Legends.
Shall we run through the motions then of sort of what these teams are both looking to achieve? Because I look at the side of Peace, clear engage to assist in the Shockwave first of all, but to make Cheon's life as easy as possible. But what do we make of Gravitas' roster?
Gravitas' roster, obviously, they have the Ornn potentially being weak side with a strong mid lane 2v2. Xinjiao makes up for that. They'll most likely be playing towards bot side to counter those ganks from Trundle, and Ornn, like last night, will be left on an island defending his tower against 4 people maybe. But from Peace's comp, I can see that they have a lot of utility and frontline for Cheon. And they have a second carry, which is the Gwen in the top side. And Gwen actually shreds Ornn quite well. So if no one stops his Gwen from scaling and getting items, nobody can't actually lane into her.
Yeah, it's going to be that battle, right, of Tien scaling to be an individual monster versus nobody saying, give me time. Where's level 13? Here are some ornaments. Let's pop off, team. Top lane obviously going to be an exciting one in its own regard due to the playstyle differences, but is it still all about the spot lane? I feel like it is, because we've got 2 very hyper carry late game focused players and champions locked in.
It definitely is. I'm expecting a gank when Aphelios has his purple gun on the Kog'Maw and Lulu. Unless they take cleanse, it's most likely going to be a force on that 2v2 from the Trundle. But looking at mid lane, both mages, Api is most likely going to be playing a facilitator for Lisa, and he's going to be following Lisa with his ganks. And Daejong, he's picked Zoe before. His Zoe was pretty good. He is a known Zoe player in solo queue, so I'm going to expect some good Qs and bubbles out of this game.
Yeah, last we saw it was up against Mammoth, went into a Corki, and it was a battle of the skill shots, and in the end, he went through a portal, and he never returned. Copped a lot of burst to his head, and yeah, big damage. Here we go though, starting off day 2 here for week 3 of the LCO. It's your opening game of the night, with Peace, the undefeated, undisputed champion so far, current reigning champions, if I might so add, taking on Gravitas that picked up their very first win last night. So let's kick things off.
And in doing so, let's welcome back in one of our fan favorites. It's the coach of Peace. How are you, Midlord?
Hi, I'm fine.
That's good to hear. I always like to hear what you find. Hey, so huge victory last night. It featured a pentakill too, which is awesome. So you're now first place. What were some of the takeaways you got from that game?
Actually, we got plenty of confidence from this game. All of our teammates have very confident of we can win directly, win strictly, actually.
Yeah, and I had to ask then, a quick question to add to that. Are you going to have an undefeated split?
Yeah.
You are. You heard it here first. Midlord believes. I'm a believer too. Hey, appreciate your time as always. Wish you the best luck in this game as well.
Yeah, thank you.
The undefeated split. I don't know if the curse is a blessing or not. Pensnet tried, then they lost to Amumu, so shout out to Rusty for that one. But we're looking at mid lane so far. Anything crazy you've seen here, Kitty?
From looking at the summoner spells, Kog'Maw actually opted into a barrier and heal in the bot lane. I was expecting maybe a cleanse, maybe an exhaust, but because Kog'Maw without the exhaust, the Gwen and the Trundle is going to be a huge problem, and we don't actually see as many barriers as before because an exhaust is just so valuable. And
oh, it might actually come into effect right nice and early. They're going to flash on forward, look to try and lock them in place. Look at turning things around. He's got the rapid fire working. He's spewing out the damage, and the trade works in their favor. Yes, Chain has the green and the red, but sniping from afar, they both cop a bit of damage.
that's the support's flash being burnt. Both junglers are piling bot, but obviously this Nautilus does not have flash advantage. Lisa already here.
Killer. Oh, the Hex Flash. The angles, the flash away. Beautiful from Entrust. Read it like a book, and yeah, good dodge denial, but I tell you what, the repeat gank is going to be terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah, now Aphelios has his Gravitum, and I'm going to expect a bot lane 3v3 with...
We're not done yet, are we? No, they're going to turn all their attention on towards Foreign. He's been separated from the rest of his team. No! Kog'Maw gets the first blood, so Pigot's on the board. And then Lisa picks up the kill in retaliation. Appy's deployed here first. Daejeon can't get here. A flash across the wall, and Lisa gets a double kill. Trundle's a carry. He's no longer a tank. Cheon picks up another, and the bot lane is evaporated.
Even though they picked up the first blood on Nautilus, this ADC and the Trundle, might I add, has 2 kills. This Trundle is going to dictate how early game will play out for Peace.
May just be the best early game he had. I thought for a second he was going to look to try and dive and go for another kill in mid lane. It's only level 3. Calm down, Lisa. But let's look at this replay. What did you like about it?
So obviously Beats died first, but look at Cheon. He is killing the support without flash. So they were like, forget about the ADC. ADC has flash. Leave it to me. You go kill the Lulu. And that's how they picked up both kills. But like I said, Aphelios with his purple gun will result in kills for Peace, and that's exactly how they played it out.
Yeah, speed up that replay. Let's get back into live action because we're continuing the aggression towards bot lane. There is no lantern to run away from. Oh, just gets the dredge line. Foreigner flashing forward. Where's the CD? Oh, they've missed a paddle start. It does not matter. Foreigner will pick up that kill in return. So 5 minutes and 5 kills.
You know, I didn't expect this much fighting from Gravitas' bot lane because it is a Lulu Kog'Maw. Usually you just want them to scale safely into late game. But with PCE locking in the Nautilus, they expect this amount of fighting.
Crazy start so early on, and we knew the focus was going to be definitely favored towards the spot side. It could be you know, there could be an argument made that they would go towards top side to give Tien all the control in the world, and that lane, as you say, then just becomes unplayable. But I mean, do you see any of these AD carries coming out really ahead already on?
They both picked up 1 kill. The only difference I can say is that Piglet has died once. He did lose out on some experience, and experience is very valuable on ADCs in this patch.
Go though. He's going to be spotted on vision. He's waiting out a fog of war for just a second. The ward is gone. That's beautiful timing from Gravitas. Now he goes in. There's the emote to celebrate what we're seeing too. Is the investment worth it? Lisa's here too, Kitty.
Yep, this fight can lead into a Drake, as you can see.
They're going to jump on in. The polymorph comes out. Nice. Look at the burst. Kog'Maw's only level 4, but Nautilus and Beats never stood a chance.
You know, maybe this is why Foreigner is such a renowned Xin Zhao player, but he is on point with these ganks, and Beast is just getting caught left and right.
Is there ever an argument to be made that he's gone for the Glacier Runes as opposed to the Aftershock? And yes, it's more lockdown, but you're just so squishy.
You are very squishy, but I think Beast didn't expect the jungler to counter gank every single gank they've had so far in the bot lane. In my opinion, I would go Aftershock because you already have so many slows and CC coming out of Peace's comp. And obviously, oh, actually Peace gets Dragon from that because Gravitas decided to reset after that kill.
Yeah, as you said, they've gone back to base. That gives them the inline track. Lisa's pathing so far has been really good. On the ball, Ghost gets activated. Tien not opting for the flash or the ignite this time around. Pops his head into mid lane, says, I want to get in the action. I'm a second jungler. Shockwave underneath the turret, and Daejung does fall on down, but ignite is enough. And he takes out a turn in a trade.
Would Tien not be the perfect Smite Janna player? Look how he plays. He pushes in his wave and he just roams to mid. That's just his thing.
That's true. Do you think he'd enjoy it? Have we seen him play it in solo queue?
He has not played it, but I will not be surprised if he does pick it out in the LCO.
Have to wait and see if he ever decides to stoop that low. Maybe it gets patched out before, so maybe Riot prevents him from unleashing his true potential like you'd want to see.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, Lulu started the Relic Shield. That's how scared she is for this lane matchup into the Nautilus. But because of Xin Zhao camping bot lane, it's not as scary anymore. In my opinion, if she knew that if Xin Zhao was going to play bot side, you could be more aggressive and go with the blue support item.
Yeah, hasn't opted for it on this occasion though, and we'll get to see if the aggression continues in this bot lane, because right now summon advantage is in Peace's favour. Flash and Barrier will be up very shortly, and it's fitting because level 6 is soon to come on through, so just achieved by the ADs. Can't be too far away for these supports either.
So Gwen just used TP for this Herald. This Herald is going to go to Peace. They aren't contesting it. This Xin Zhao is going to path bot after his blue buff, I believe. Just because you gotta trade something off when you give the Herald to the opposing team. They're gonna maybe look for a dive on the Nautilus and Aphelios. Maybe just trade some camps in the bot side.
Good call. We'll get to see where Foreigner is pathing towards, because right now there is a ward in the bot tribe bush that would protect Peace, even though it is delayed vision. He's opting to go around the other end and look to try and steal a red buff, whilst Lisa's already picked up the Herald and now going for the repeat gank on towards Daejung. The Shockwave's already connected. He's going for the trade. It doesn't matter, the paddle start at this early game stage doesn't do enough, and the mid jungler Peace pick up another kill.
Yeah, so you know that the enemy Trundle just got Rift Herald, and with you, Zoe, knowing you have no flash and you still walk up that far, just ends up in a death. You shouldn't be that pushed up as a Zoe without flash. That's really disrespectful to the 2-0 Trundle.
It hurts, doesn't it? Because, you know, at that point, Daejung was up by a sizable CS lead too.
Yeah, now he's a 3-0, barely being behind in the CS compared to the Xin Zhao, and Tien is comfortably scaling on the Gwen and top, picking up that kill from mid.
I was just thinking about your point before about the Janna top and sort of what some of the best answers would be towards it.
I actually tweeted this.
Oh yeah?
In my opinion, this is maybe another hot take. In my opinion, I think Kayle, Victor, Corki with Coalstar can do better than the Smite enchanters in the solo lanes.
Is that all just because you believe that, you know, if you can earn more gold than they can provide impact, then you just win?
I think Kayle and Victor and Corki just do way too well with that gold in the late game, where the amount of shields and heal don't make up for the amount of damage that they will put out in the late game.
Yeah, I have seen a few of those games, right, where the Janna is involved, and you're finding yourself in some cases 5 to 6 level leads. It's absolutely crazy. So I'll be curious to see if that was to be played.
Yep.
Who knows?
Dragon is spawning up in 1 minute, and we still have the Lulu at level 5. That is going to be very important for this fight at Drake.
On level 6 now. Here comes Foreigner, looking to poke his head into bot lane again. Lisa going to go back towards mid. Look at him on the frozen ground. His attack speed is out of this world. And once again, I mean, this is meant to be a tank trundle, but it's an absolute carry. 4-0-2.
With the Sundera already in hand for this Drake fight as well.
It's gone lethal tempo as well, Kitty.
See Tian roaming to mid lane again.
Yeah, he's taking a long way, isn't he? They're going to summon a Herald. The timing is perfect.
He's
2
literally
plates remain.
stealing the plates.
It's a one-shot. He wanted that one plate.
He's stealing the plates. But he did roam down for this dragon fight, meaning there will be 5 on this dragon. Chan's going to look for maybe a flash stun on the carriers.
Oh. Yeah,
Did
Foreigner
that
once again.
cancel ulti?
Did it go out? Would have been put on cooldown, but it hasn't been, so he's managed to dodge it, but that's the second time that Foreigner's been in that position, compromised.
Yeah, with Dajong dying in mid lane, they did lose mid priority, so this dragon is going to go to peace.
Oh, we've got Hex Dragons today. I don't think we had a single one yesterday, and that's the biggest critique that Mac and Rusty brought up. Where were the Hex Drakes? So today, it's a Hex Soul.
Skimmy, with the new dragons, what's your favorite soul right now?
I want to give a hot take and say the Chemtech, but it's been disabled, so I won't be a troll. Look, I love Infernal personally, a bit of an OG, just more damage. Simple-minded person. What about you?
I actually prefer the Hextech slow from the soul.
Okay. Well, here's somebody else getting slowed, and it's going to be Foreigner. Once again, he's finding no love lost in his own jungle. Lisa, that's my jungle too. He's basically saying to him, this map, it belongs to me. Thanks for the red buff. You stole mine only moments earlier, but I'll take one back.
So we see Gwen in the bot lane. Rift Herald is spawning in 2 minutes. Gwen doesn't have TP. So putting the Aphelios mid means that he can rotate to these topside fights. And with the Orianna top, it's just going to secure that priority for the Rift Herald that's coming up soon.
This is coming up very shortly. And now, whilst we can see the inevitable is that another turret, which will be the second one of the game, is soon to fall on down. Kitty, we have to stare at our scoreboard and look at Piglet's build. Do you spot anything a bit weird here?
Is that... Wait, am I... Are my glasses... Am I wearing the right glasses today?
He's got the most gold on his team, but he's playing like a tank.
That ain't Ezreal. Wow, that is quite a niche build. I have actually not seen that in competitive or anywhere, in fact. So I'm quite excited to see what Piglet has in store for us with this Frozen Gauntlet on the Cogmore.
Let's very craft it. Like, entertain me for a second. I know that back in the day we've seen cases made where AD carries are picking on like Randuins, for example, but it's just a case of saying that, you know, a Cogmore is going to have so much scaling and true raw damage later on with levels that he just needs to live.
You know, this build would make sense if Peace was heavy AD based, but from what we're seeing, RP with the Orianna and Gwen in the top lane, I don't know why he would opt into a Frozen Gauntlet other than the CC.
I imagine we're going to see more of the tanky items picked up very shortly. If you've picked up one, invest in it all. Might just be a nod towards Zeri with these on-hit builds, but a Cogmore variation, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Randuins and the Titanic and so on picked up later on into this game. But as it stands right now, it is a good point, I suppose, to assess where this game's at, Kitty. 15 minutes in, Peace find themselves with a 3k gold lead, and every objective so far has been theirs.
Yeah, so from that pick on Foreigner at red buff, they actually got those wards in their top side. So this Herald is going to go to Peace, because Foreigner just can't enter this top side jungle. It's just doomed. So they are playing comfortably topside with Tian playing the weak side. Tian, Gwen having an immune ability, he's gonna be comfortable with the Xin Zhao playing towards his lane. He's not gonna die, especially when Owen has not a lot of damage and the Xin Zhao is not accelerated.
See what happens though, because it's a rotate, but a delayed one at that. The map has been flipped. You find your Roosters down the bottom lane. Nobody looking to try and make that trade happen. Farm up another stack of the grass. Goes for the call of the Forge Gold. Hits one, hits two. Inside the circle, so the damage will connect. Needlework is coming on through a flash away, but a dash that will not matter. Tien with the solo kill.
Yeah, from Champ Select, I already mentioned that when Gwen picks up her items, Ornn can never win a 1v1. It's just too hard. Gwen has way too much damage. So what I'm expecting out of Nobody is for him to actually group with this Kog'Maw and force team fights in mid lane while the Gwen splits. But with Nobody dead, he actually doesn't have tempo for this Drake anymore, and this piece is gonna set up for more vision.
Yeah, as you can see right now, the map is lit up like a Christmas tree, all in favor here for Peace. The river belongs to them. Thank you for the toggle there, observers. Peace is looking to try and wrestle even further into the enemy jungle and figure out where is Gravitas. Will they go for this attempt?
Well, thanks to Hexgate, the Ornn does arrive quite quickly. But with the looks, Peace is looking for a pick on the... They're gonna just fight in this choke with the Nautilus.
Everybody's here, Kitty. It's gonna be a full 5v5. What do Gravitas look for? Well, it's going to start with a little bit of poke. The Paddle Star is there, on towards Beats, down to 60%. The Drake has been engaged. Lisa jumps in and flashes on out. The Drake is still engaged. The Shockwave goes out nice and early. The damage already looking to try and land on towards Piglet. The Kog'Maw is dead. The tank Kog'Maw is dead. No shred today. Daeshang nearly gets shredded. Is he going to die to Ignite? I think he might off screen. 2 kills found so far. Everybody from Peace topped up and healthy. And it won't be an ace just yet, but they are forgetting the Drake to run down this Lulu.
I don't know if you saw, but that flank from Tien absolutely destroyed Piglet. He could not do anything.
What a fight.
Yeah, because obviously we do have the two frontliners on... Oh, here's the replay. So we see that Tien enters behind Kog'Maw while Lisa drags out the fight, flashing out. He gives up the Drake because it is not soul. It is soul point, but they can afford to give it over. And obviously with the Kog'Maw building Frozen Gauntlet, he has no defense against the fed Gwen. And just Foreigner trying his best to toss out as much damage before he dies there.
Yeah, a bit of a rough situation to find themselves in. We always knew this was going to be a tough game for Gravitas, an uphill battle, to say the least. Maybe the silver lining of it all, Kitty, is they have picked up a Drake, but the price was high, right? They lost 4 members, they lost multiple turrets. A Herald was also used too. So the map is looking pretty barren for them.
Yeah, what I was wondering is obviously Piglet is the hyper carrier for Gravitas. Why would he opt into a Frozen Golem when he has a Lulu? He already has enough peel, especially with an Ornn and Xin Zhao with his ulti. Why does he opt into a tank item?
Yeah, would you have preferred the more conventional builds, say the likes of, you know, what do you go, like Rune King, Wit's End, and so on?
Most ADCs actually go Kraken Slayer when you have an Enchanter, just because Enchanters can save you from those people that can stick onto your face. You do not need to overload on the shields. And it's just nice having the Kraken because it's just consistent damage from the Kog'Maw with his long range.
Yeah, just all in on the one shot, right? Forget about it. You know, Shield Bow, a little bit overrated. If I'm going to go to Shield Bow, might as well go to Frostfire, but look, I tell you what, the Kraken Slayer feels nice, doesn't it? Especially when you got all that attack speed picked up. It's more true damage. It's more one-shot potential, just like Daeshang was looking for, but he's really just tickled Lisa.
Lisa's just way too fed. He has the chains built on him as well. I wonder who that's attached to, actually.
Yeah, very good call, actually. Imagine it would be Kog'Maw, surely. Who else? Who else could you make an argument for?
I believe it is Kog'Maw.
Well, if he embodies the idea of playing a tank like we saw in that previous fight, the first one to fall on down, maybe he's just trying to, you know, find value with his passive. I don't know. I'm clutching at straws here, Kitty. What do you think?
Well, look, this game is very hard to win for Gravitas. They do not have any map control whatsoever, especially with Gwen's TP online for this Baron. Dragon is also up in 1 minute and 40. they always... So Lulu can't actually get any wards here because they don't have any frontline. Xin Zhao, if he gets engaged on by the Lisa, just because you want to finish your dinner, come on. But obviously you need the Ornn to be with the Lulu to secure that vision for the objectives. But Ornn has to match the Gwen in the side. So this is quite hard for Gravitas to actually enter into the objective area.
Yeah, and you can see it right now from the mini, can't you? All three lanes are being pushed against Gravitas, so they can't really find an advantage to play around. Nobody is in that losing situation. Daejong's just soaking up the solo experience and the farm where he can. And Peace is saying, well, we've had enough with this one. The dinner's getting cold. The microwave isn't the best solution. Get the Baron. Let's go for the end.
Chance go red and white. This is going to be a very quick Baron.
Look at it go. This is getting absolutely shredded. The blast point is burnt. Tien makes
Ornn
sure of
TP'd
it.
at 2k.
Going for this one. Can Foreigner find a way in towards this Baron pit? The Moonlight Vigil goes out nicely. There's the call of the Forge God as well. 2 kills already found here by Peace. Both the carries online. There's a double now here for Appy. There's a double also for Chaeyoung. Gonna fall on down in the end to Zoe.
That was so sad. Foreigner flashed in. He smited. It was 1 HP. The Baron was 1 HP. That is extremely upsetting for Gravitas. It was so close.
I'm sure we'll get like a slow-mo camera replay in a second. We can really witness the betrayal. Let's run it back one more time.
So everyone actually jumped out of the pit. They were looking for the fight from Peace. Lisa was the only one in the pit because he could not jump over. Oh, sorry, Chaeyoung. Oh, Chaeyoung flashed over. Yes, but look at Foreigner. Look how sad that Smite battle is.
Slow-mo.
Oh, no!
Oh, no!
He was so close!
Delete the evidence. He never wants to see that Baron fight again.
Yep, and with them obviously winning the previous fight, they have tempo for this dragon, which puts them on soul point.
Certainly does. And they now find themselves eclipsing a 10k gold lead. So if there's ever a time to really highlight a potential match point, it's a soul point, but it feels like the writing is on the wall. We're only a few minutes away from Peace putting that final nail in the coffin.
This game is really, really, really hard for Gravitas. They are way too behind on scaling champions from the, obviously with the Ornn and the Kog'Maw Lulu. Daejong got caught a lot of times in mid lane, so being the solo OP, he actually just tickles Lisa with that trundle and his build.
Yeah, look at his build right now. He's got a little bit of damage and said, well,
is that
I'm
a
just going to build
redemption?
tank. We're working towards it.
Opting into a redemption because, you know,
Why
gotta
not?
get that heal.
It's one of his redeeming qualities. He is built different. Those are his words, not ours. Tien says, come on guys, let's get inside this base. Let's get this job started. He's going to get put to sleep. His mist has expired. He is vulnerable unless the scissors come together. Edward Scissorhands, a blockbuster film and a blockbuster performance here from the carry of Peace. They're full of them. Everybody full of Stardust. And only a handful of kills are being picked up here from Gravitas. The undefeated team, the undisputed reigning champions that are currently sat in first place at 24 minutes. Kickstart the day with a win.
Don't let Tien free scale on that Gwen, guys. Come on.
He looks happy, doesn't he?
Yep, and this game is the reason why Gwen has an 80% pick ban rate globally. You're not gonna pick it, please ban it, or else you're gonna get Edward Scissored Hand on.
Absolutely did. And, you know, I don't think we really want to see Tien go for a cosplay angle anytime soon. He can stick with the Inky, you know, keep the mascot out there. We certainly need to see more of that, giving you guys the buff in-game. What a performance. I mean, certainly for Peace, a clear idea in mind of what they wanted to do. And Mac, I mean, you look at a game like that and you say, all the fireworks kicked off in the first 5 minutes.
Mate, it was absolutely insane how that one went down. And I thought Gravitas, you know, with my tip, I was like, okay, this could happen. I could see it happening. But then Peace put the foot down, and then you got, I think, Tien and Lisa both had perfect games. So we'll see if they have something to say about that one. But look, they definitely did a lot of talking in the server, even just the dancing. Lisa with the full BM coming through towards the end of the game, but playing out of his mind. And look, Kitty broke this play down. Chaeyoung knew exactly what he had to do. The rest of Peace knew what they were doing as well. So it turned into what was double kill for Lisa nice and early, and then 3 on the board from here. We did see Gravitas with a bit of pushback, but then this flank from Tian as well completely shut it down. Look at that, he's 1v4ing right there. Lisa providing maybe a little bit of support from afar, but watch Tian's health bar. It's barely touched, and that is what Gwen does, right? Skimmy?
Yeah, absolutely does. He said, look, I've had enough of being the weak side guy that has to soak up the pressure. I deadlifted Chaeyoung yesterday. He got a pentakill. Where's my deadlift? Where's the excitement for me? I'm popping off, guys. The role isn't all about top lane right now, so yeah, no better play than that final one at the end, right, when he just jumped in and it was an absolute immune raid boss. But a clean game overall. Peace have to be happy.
They definitely do. Now, Kitty, I guess if Gravitas had to take anything out of this game to learn from, what do you think would be like the key point?
Don't build tank Kog'Maw when you have an Ornn Lulu?
Okay. Anything else? Looking at the rest of the builds there, of course, we did see the Frostfire Gauntlet coming through. Anything else that's a bit off meta that worked or didn't work for either side?
Wow, so the Frostfire Gauntlet actually did more damage than the Zoe solo AP mid lane. I'm quite surprised by that. But obviously the Gwen topping the damage charts with the 16k, it's just what happens when you leave Tian on an island against an Ornn. He just CS's up and kills everyone.
I was actually having a chat with Rusty as well, and he said it is completely illegal to blind pick Ornn on blue side for that third pick, so looks like there might have been something going wrong or something overlooked by the Gravitas Champ Select. Now, of course, I guess, like, what would have been a better option for top lane for Gravitas then?
Anything.
Anything? I know, it's pretty hard when you do get that counter pick coming through with the Gwen as well. Either way, I've got Appy to have a quick chat to, because, of course, I'm doing the interviewing, so Kitty, sit back, relax. She did very well in her first cast, and Appy, you did very well in the mid lane on the Orianna. I've got a couple of questions for you. First off, I want to know, who do you see as the biggest threat here this year, this split in the LCO?
You mean it, like in the mid lane or like whole team?
Just the whole team in general, but tell me who is the, I guess, the scariest mid you have to go up against as well.
Oh yeah, sure. The teams definitely will be Chiefs and PGD. Like these two teams, like as everyone expected, maybe like PG having a little bit rough time, but I still believe like they will be on top very soon because they like really strong, and like the good and the good mid laners will be like Tally, like Chiefs mid laners, and I think PGD mid laners and all the mid laners, these three mid laners are really good. So I still need some work.
Very, very good. Now, that's a solid answer. This is beautiful. This works perfectly because my next two questions I had written down was what was for dinner and is Lisa's dinner cold? So could you quickly ask him or like could you tell me?
I actually just tasted it. Yeah, I actually just tasted it. It's not even cold. It's still warm. So we don't. Yeah, because in the game it was like he was like rushing, like he was just doing everything fast. As you can see the game.
Yeah.
He's just like yeah, and he just I just tasted it. It's still warm.
Yeah. see you later, Inky. What was it? Was it some kind of like chicken dish?
Oh yeah, it's a Chinese noodle. It's a noodle.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Now, we're giving compliments to everyone today. We're sharing the love, knowing that Valentine's Day is coming up next week. So, who would you like to compliment from your team? And just throw one out there.
I'll be I think shout out to top Ramir Cien. He's like really good shot callers. As a it's very rare to see as a top laners, and you can also do shot call. And obviously you can see like he in game he's like do really well against every top laners. And they actually created space for me and Channel. Like I'm new to this role, and Channel new to LCO, so we can have the time to improve. That's quite important.
Yeah. So he's doing a whole lot of work, so beautiful compliment. Thank you, Tian. And he always shares the love with Inky as well. I saw him on your head before he fell across. Now, go bask in the glory, and I guess we'll see you next week if you keep this win streak.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mac.
See you later.
See ya.
Always good to chat with Appy, such a happy fella. And Lisa coming in clutch, you know, feeding the boys, making sure everyone's full of energy after a big W. So really
in-game and out, Mac.
love.
Literally in-game and out. He got the entire team fed in the game and he said, all right, boys, you know, the food is still warm, so let's get around it.
That is it. Now, a player of the game. No surprises here. It could have been almost anyone there on Peace, but it was Beats for Roman, setting things up there, playing that Nautilus to a damn T, and getting a couple of spicy hooks all around the Rift, Kitty.
Ignoring the 0-3 start, he did pair very nicely with Lisa for those mid-game to late-game roams, obviously making Florida's life very hard, especially around that red buff. So I'm not surprised that Beats grabs player of the game today.
Absolute nuisance, 71% kill participation. And look at that, vision all across the damn Rift. 30 wards placed in, I think it was like a 25-minute game, Skimmy, so it wasn't too long compared to some of the others that we've seen so far here in the LCO.
Yeah, I can even mention it, right? They just had so much vision, and Gravitas weren't able to get any of that back on the map, so, you know, Beats was all around the map saying, all right, boys, you know, there's a pick, there's an angle. And it's always good to see supports get a little bit of love, right? Because definitely you can make an argument that all the carries on Peace deserve the MVP, but Beats, look, you're not playing an Enchanter. You've bust out the big guns with the Nautilus and said, all right, boys, let's get it done.
Big guns, big arms, big hooks, you name it. Now, we've got hot food in the Peace House. We've got hot casters on the desk here, but we also have some hot takes from you guys at home. So let's have a look at what you've sent in for from the fans. It's Fish and Nish. I've seen Nish in Twitch chat all the time. Junglers need to get a sweeping lens after first back. All laners should also buy control wards. I feel like that is just general knowledge, more so than a hot take. I think that's just a general good take. Kitty, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
This should not be the hot take. This should be the reality. Please buy control wards. As a support main, I cannot. Oh, I'm getting so mad thinking about this. So laners, please buy control wards. You know, if you buy a ward, you can see if the jungle is ganking you. Me as a support, I can only put one control ward on the map. So please contribute to the matter and buy control wards. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Very important. Thank you, Kitty. Now, I think we have one more to have a look at. So we'll jump on over and see what's been sent in. We got Get Sourced. Any laner who blames a jungler for not ganking when they are on the opposite side of the map should have to play the next 20 games as jungle for perspective.
Oh,
I don't know if this is a hot take. I guess it depends on the game state and if the jungler should be at the top lane states, etc. So, yes, this could be seen as hot, but it could also just be seen as good advice. What are your thoughts, Skimmy?
This is not the most common take. I feel like it's always laners and junglers at each other's throat, always complaining about, oh, the lane state sucks. Oh, look, my parving is ruined. Oh, it's so easy. Just hit smite, bro. Yeah. End of the day, just play better.
My favorite is when I've ganked bot and got them a huge lead. I ganked like 3 times, got them 4 kills like in the first 10 minutes. And then my mid laner is camped, dies 3 or 4 times, doesn't take any precautions to play safe, and then says, I'm doing absolutely nothing because he has continually played aggressive, pushed the wave.
Noob jungle,
and I'm just
FF.
like, brother, if you paid attention to what I've been doing and to what you have been doing, I'm technically not doing anything wrong, and you are. So please, keep telling me how it's my damn fault! Either way, of course, if you guys aren't... I'm sorry, I was getting very passionate there. Now, if you guys haven't followed the Twitter, please make sure you go follow Twitter. You'll see when we're going live with all the games here on the LCO. Of course, we got a couple of Super Weeks coming up, so, you know, there might be some Wednesday games coming through as well. You don't want to miss those, and you might forget about it because it's usually just the Mondays and Tuesdays. So if you're following over there, tweet #LCO, get all your content in from the fans. Don't miss out on any of the action. And speaking of action, we've got a big second game to get to today. It's going to be Kanga and Mammoth coming up not too far on the other side of this break. Can Kanga find their second dub, and can Mammoth keep up the pace?
Drake has been engaged. Lisa jumps in and flashes on out. Drake is still engaged. The shockwave goes out nice and early. The damage already looking to try and land us towards Piglet. The Cogmore is dead. The tank Cogmore is dead. No shred today. Deja nearly gets shredded. Is he going to try to ignite? I think he might off screen. 2 kills found so far. Everybody from Peace top. Tien says, come on guys, let's get inside this base. Let's get this job started. He's going to get put to sleep.